we're going to go into coronal abduction of 90. While maintaining that, we're going to go into elbow flexion. And then from here, we're going to maintain that position and do wrist extension for 20 repetitions. And while we were resting, we are going to continue with our nerve gliding exercise demonstration. And right now, I'm going to be showing you an exercise to help release tension on the ulnar nerve. A few days ago, I showed you guys how to perform the upper limb tension test. And upper limb tension test number 4 was to assess tension in the ulnar nerve. And I showed you 2 versions. I showed you the actual version for upper limb tension test number 4, and I showed you a simplified version. We're going to be taking the simplified version and turning the test into an exercise. The starting position, we want the elbow in extension and we want the wrist in flexion. So we're going to start in supine position with the elbow extended and the wrist flexed. And then from this position, we've got 3 parts. First part, we're going to go ahead and go into coronal shoulder abduction away from the midline of 90 degrees. And we're going to do 3 to 5 repetitions. And after 3 to 5 repetitions, you want to ask yourself, are my symptoms getting better, worse, or staying the same? If your symptoms are getting worse or staying the same, stop immediately. There's no need to continue. We don't want to exacerbate your symptoms. However, if your symptoms are getting better, we would perform 20 more repetitions. Let's say you do the coronal abduction to 90 and you don't notice a reproduction of your symptoms. In that case, what we would want to do we would want to build tension from there. So from coronal abduction of 90, we want to maintain that coronal abduction 90 degrees. And then with the elbow still flexed, we want to go ahead or with the wrist still flexed, we want to go ahead and flex the elbow. So we're touching our fingertips toward the anterior deltoid, 3 to 5 repetitions. And ask yourself, are my symptoms getting better, worse, or staying the same? If your symptoms are getting worse or staying the same, stop immediately. There's no need to continue. We don't want to exacerbate your symptoms. However, if your symptoms are getting better, what we would do is maintain that coronal abduction of 90 degrees. And while maintaining that wrist flexion, we are going to do 20 repetitions of elbow flexion. Let's say you end up doing the coronal abduction and elbow flexion, and you still don't notice a reproduction of your symptoms. We're going to build tension. We want to go into, from here, wrist extension. We're going to do 3 to 5 repetitions of wrist extension, and then ask yourself, are my symptoms getting better, worse, or staying the same? If your symptoms are getting worse or staying the same, stop immediately. There's no need to continue. We don't want to exacerbate your symptoms. However, if your symptoms are getting better, we would want to perform 20 repetitions. So we're going to go into coronal abduction of 90. While maintaining that, we're going to go into elbow flexion. And then from here, we're going to maintain that position and do wrist extension for 20 repetitions. And that is how we could take the simplified, modified version of upper limb tension test number 4 and turn it into a nerve gliding exercise to help release tension in the ulnar nerve. So if you do have any type of radiating pain down the arm or tingling in the pinky or ring finger, go ahead, give this exercise a try. During the next rest period, I'm going to be showing you the actual upper limb tension test, starting with upper limb tension test number 1, and we're going to be using that as a nerve gliding exercise. So if you found that the regular median nerve one, the simplified version, you didn't really notice a reproduction of your symptoms, we can do upper limb tension test number 1 because that one is going to put more tension on the nerve. But for right now, our rest period is up. It is time for set number 7. That was just a tiny taste of what can be found in my members only section. If you enjoyed it, become a member for only $5 a month to get access to hundreds of member only videos.